got this Nintendo Switch, but I don't have any accessories for it. Oh, what's this? A while ago, I was buying and selling Nintendo Switches like crazy, and a bunch of them that I would buy would just come with random-ass accessories that I just did not want. So I'm gonna go through some of those right now. So, I'm gonna start with this one first. This was something that I actually bought off of Temu about 3 years ago, and I thought it would be nice to have, but then I really quickly realized this is absolute dog shit. And let me show you guys why. Alright, so let's start by putting these on. Get this one, just plop it in there. Now let's just put these on. Boom. Now the main problem that I have with this is that it makes connecting to a lot of other stuff kind of difficult. And also, it's almost impossible to get these fucking things out because the button is below the thing. So getting it out is almost impossible. But hey, while we're at it, let's add on to this. Here we've got the HORI, Mario, Luigi, fucking, what do you want to call it? Stick caps. These were also fairly cheap, but I tried them out and did not like them. So there's really not too much to say about this, mostly because it does function, but what I don't like is how much this can move. It doesn't stay on there very well. And the overall texture that you get from this, these ridges, are really bad. They feel like garbage. So I would have to say, the crystal case, I mean, it definitely works. It's kind of bulky, and I really don't like how you can't easily take it off of here. So I'm gonna have to give this a C tier. Definitely works, but it gets in the way, and it's kind of unnecessary. These Joy-Con caps, they're definitely gonna prevent you from wearing out the rubber on the sticks, which I've definitely seen a lot of, but don't get these ones. These ones specifically are kind of crappy. I would give these a D tier, just because they're so crappy and spin so easily. Hey, you know, we can also pimp the dock. We've got this really awesome addition for the dock that will charge your Joy-Cons. And it's just as simple as plugging it in. So I will say they fit very loosely on there. Like, just like that they're on. But they're not horrible. You know it's bad when I need a screwdriver to take this shit off. See, this is another one of the problems with these crystal cases. This big ass that it has is getting in the way, so I can't even get it on here. So I can't use this because of this. These are just problematic. You don't need these. I would say this right here is one of the better things so far. It doesn't work with these, but, I mean, it doesn't need to. Because if you can't use those, you can always try one of these. This is just one of the typical charging stands. So these don't have the same issue. And these charging stands are always really nice because you don't have to charge your Joy-Cons on the dock then. There's really not much to say about these. This one is an unofficial one. I'll give them an A. They do what they're supposed to. Although I do prefer the ones that can charge 4 Joy-Cons at once, because this one can only charge 2. So if you can get the ones that charge 4, it's a lot better. Now if you're going to be gaming, these are definitely something that you need. The single Joy-Con side grips are, in my opinion, one of the best accessories you can get. Along with these, but these aren't nearly as versatile as these. Because these are good for Smash Bros, they're good for Mario Party, they're good for Monopoly, they're good for any game where you don't need a lot of control. These are nice to have, but these are even nicer. There's really nothing to complain about with these. These are the official ones, so they've got a nice rubbery feel to them, kind of. But the ones you kind of want to look out for are the Chinmonfu China fake ones. They're definitely shinier, they've got a much more plasticky feel and look to them, but they work all the same. I would have to say if you were rating these separately, these ones get a B, these ones get an A. This also gets an A, just because it works pretty well. I unfortunately do not have the charging grip, but that would also probably get an A, although charging in the charging grip might be weird. The reason I have to bring these up is because of these. You normally get these with your Switch, but they kind of suck. It definitely fits fine, but the overall grip shape, like when you're holding it like this, is a little unpleasant, and it usually is never something that I prefer. If you're gonna use something like this, you might as well use this, because this is just an overall nicer feel. If this is an A, this is a C, because it's kind of loose. The wrist strap is nice, but you really don't need a wrist strap. It's not a Nintendo Wii. And the button feel is just not good. While we're on the topic of controllers, let's talk about this bad boy. I really didn't want to talk about controllers just because they're not really an accessory, but this is everyone's favorite Power A shitty ass wired controller. I've used many similar controllers to this in the past, and I will tell you, don't. Please don't. I didn't intentionally buy this one, it came with a Switch that I bought, and it's some of the lowest quality I've ever seen. I know people that have purchased controllers like these, used them for a minute, then took them back to the store and returned them, because they are that bad. This is like baby's first pro controller. That's the best way I could describe it. Because this thing sucks. You give this to somebody, and they go... You know, they just bash on this thing, and you don't care, because it's a piece of shit. If you're gonna get a controller, you might as well get the OG Pro controller, because these things are awesome. They're indestructible from what I can tell, and they're just pretty good. This is an S tier. This is an F tier. This thing sucks ass, and this thing is amazing. One of the main accessories that I really like is the magnetic game holders. Now, I never usually need these because I always keep the cases for my games, but a lot of Switches that I've purchased came with loose games, so I just have to deal with it. But this right here, this specific magnetic case, is actually, from what I can tell, extremely rare, because this was from back in the day when you were allowed to do whatever you wanted on Temu, and people were selling unofficial shit like this. This was $4 back in the day. And you can't even buy this anymore. It's just not around. It's a really nice quality, and that's the craziest part. If anything else is going to receive an S, it would be this. I never want to have this happen. I want to keep the cases with my games. But if you don't have the cases, these magnetic cases are fantastic, and you definitely want to have one. This was one of the worst things that I came across in my time buying Switches. I don't know why you would want to use this. I mean, sure, if you're on a car ride and you want to hear something, that might be useful, but the microphone is so pointless. What games actually use that? And the quality is kind of crappy. Oh, sorry. The PDP gaming headset. There's nothing good about it. You don't really need the microphone, because what Switch games use that? The quality is crappy, and overall, there's nothing that nice about it. There's very few situations where this is good. You don't want to have this when it's docked. I don't even think it'll work like that. You don't want to use this when you're playing with more than one person. It's like, this is only good if you're little Timmy on a car ride and your parents want you to shut up. And half of the games you don't even really need to hear the audio, so I don't know. The other thing is it connects up here, and I swear no one's used this aux port in there. Like, I don't know anybody that's ever used the aux port. Looks like the headset's working. Let me turn the volume up. So I just tested this thing out. Oddly enough, I'm only hearing sound in the one right earpiece. There's nothing in this left earpiece, which is a little annoying. But it works. It's not the greatest of quality. I'll still have to give it a D tier, because it's only good in one situation. And for $20, you can get so much more, especially now with the prices of all Switch items going down. Or at least secondhand they are. Alright, to end this off, I would just like to say I know there's a handful of things I missed, so I'm just going to go over a bunch of these. I'm going to have these fake bundles and these official things separate. These fake bundles, everything's basically useless. F tier. The wheel, unnecessary, but technically a single Joy-Con grip, so I'll give it a D tier. That, basically only useful with one game and kind of pointless. F tier. The stand, I have this specific one, I just can't find it. It's really nice, especially if you've got it undocked. I'll give that a B tier. The cases, almost basically essential, A tier. Charging grips, as I said, probably A tier, but I'm not sure. These automatic S, because whether it be a PowerA unofficial wired or wireless, or the official one, it's all good either way. These, kind of unnecessary. I say this is an A, that's a B, and this, which I've never seen before, charging grip. It'd be nice to have, but I don't know. I'll give it a B tier. And that's that.